All right. So at SoCal Retro Gaming Expo, Ian, we did a panel.
We did.
It was a fun time. It was controversial. Soaping up habits. Ian also revealed his.
I'm afraid if someone called me up for not washing my hands when I did.
At a convention, yep.
That'll ruin a person.
So just that Ian's telling you, just follow him into these public bathrooms with your camera going like TMZ style. But no. But we spoke about Reggie Fils-Amie is going to be retiring from as president from Nintendo of America in April, and we spoke about that at SoCal. So we're gonna segue. Kieran's gonna segue right now to it. All right.
Talk about something that just came out in the news a couple days ago.
Yeah.
About Reggie Fils-Amie, beloved president of Nintendo America, decided to retire.
Yes.
And
Wants to spend more time with his friends, his family, and his children. It's very sweet.
instead of just shepherding a video game company in America.
Yes.
So there's been a lot of feels out there for Mr. Fils-Amie because he's been working with Nintendo. He started vice president of marketing in around 2003, and then he went up to president a couple years later. And everyone likes Reggie.
Yeah, he's a goddamn cutie.
Okay, he's a cute guy. He's like 6'4", if you ever see him in person. He's a
handsome man. Yes.
Maybe he played linebacker in college. I don't know.
Looks like he'll break out of any suit he's in.
He's got those shoulders.
Just has to pose it down, and out he comes.
But he became beloved because of all, he was always doing the E3 conferences. And then when they really stopped doing that the past couple of years, Nintendo Directs, he's been a face of those as well. And he put a happy sort of face on the business side of Nintendo. And you don't usually see that with presidents or CEOs of companies. And I think that's one of the reasons why people were so ingratiated with the man.
Yeah, people became attached to him. I think one of the big things that, at least for me, one of the points where I was like, okay, this guy's kind of cool is, don't remember where it was at, but it was when he pulled the DS out of his pocket and showed that he had over 100 hours on Dragon Quest IX. And it was like, oh, okay, you're a corporate CEO. You're bullshitting some of the time, but at least you like the stuff that you're selling.
Well, sure. You have to be the head of this gigantic company. You also have to listen to Nintendo in Japan. So you're walking this line at the same time. You want to put a happy face on a huge North American market that maybe conservative Japan won't do. So it was great that they had all the skits that they would shoot. Mm-hmm. Reggie as a Terminator is one of the most famous ones. They did the Robot Chicken one a few years ago when it was all the stop motion stuff.
Yeah, the Muppets,
which was great. When Reggie he terminated the guy asking about Earthbound 3. Remember the audience? Yeah. It was fantastic stuff that you wouldn't see a huffy puffy maybe corporate giant necessarily do in order to push out new games. And yeah, he was there doing lows and highs and lows. The Wii did gangbusters, and then the Wii U was the dark ages, so to speak, in Nintendo's lifespan. And now he's stuck around to make sure that the company's going out. And he's going out in a good way with the Switch doing gangbusters, and the company being in good shape.
It's pretty amazing to see a CEO, someone in a big business these days, leave on their own terms, not disgraced.
Yeah.
Leaving in good health, happy of his own volition.
Yeah, 15 years for someone as a president, he was COO. That's a good run, especially when you have to answer not just to potential shareholders, but a parent company that's international.
Yes.
Who could yank him at any point. So he did a good job. What can I say? The only experience I have personally with Reggie, and this isn't just people just thinking he's a good guy just because. I mean, people like our friend Gerard has interviewed him, mm-hmm. and very sad to see him go. He's a genuine guy, and of course it's business first. But he realized this is a video game and almost novelty company in a way, and he made sure he was presentable, he was professional, but also had fun. He said he was going to kick that guy's ass in Smash Bros. On stage the one time a few years back. Mm-hmm. He knew how to have fun. He knew how to pull it.
People thought that was a scandal.
That he said that at the time? And then
that's unprofessional.
And then even in his outro video, he said, yes, my body is ready. He recognized the big meme that Brennan Floss did a song even of that. And so he knew what his role was, at least as the face going forward to the public. Internally, you don't know how he really governed, but you assume that 15 years that there's no bad stories about the guy, that you assume that he did a good job.
Sure.
Internally at Nintendo of America. Look at that happy face. Look at those cheeks. You just want to squeeze them.
I know.
And
he's a cherub.
At 57, that's a good time to get out. So that means he started around 43-ish, 42-ish.
Happy and rosy.
Yeah, and the one time I saw him, I was at E3 when they were still doing that, doing the big Nintendo Directs, and then I saw him like about an hour and a half afterwards. He was walking around. He was doing the Street Pass thing on the 3DS. That must have been like 2012, 13. I saw him with it. He had it. He was telling someone, I didn't want to say hi, Reggie. He wouldn't know who the hell I was. I didn't want to bother him, but he was walking around,
I miss Street Pass.
You miss Street Pass? You don't do that anymore? I used to have it open at the conventions.
Yeah, me too.
Fantastic. I will say though is that the one thing that I would caution people against is that you can be sad that someone who's a president of a company leaves. I just always get weirded out a little bit just because when people say they're like, I think you mentioned about
when I was reading, multiple people were crying over it. It's like,
is that a little much for you, crying over a president of a company leaving?
Yeah.
When you start to stretch into, that's when you start to stretch into the idolatry of a corporation a bit, and that's what I always get a little bit hesitant about.
Yes.
Whether it's someone like Steve Jobs, whether someone runs Microsoft or Nintendo of America, these are business people that they measure their own success about, is the company doing well, is it making money, and that's really where to me it begins and ends. But yeah, it's cool that publicly you're cool and that you like the product, but let's relax about people's emotional roller coaster over a president deciding to retire happy with a ton of money. It's like, yeah,
no, it's kind of a good thing, if you like the guy. Reggie's kind of that intersection too, I think, of his personality was good for the business, but I do think that it was more or less a true personality, but you never know.
Sure. And then he's being succeeded by Doug Bowser, which we have all the jokes about Bowser taking over Nintendo. We get it. Bowser's evil. But he seems like the guy that...
Fill in the blank here with the jokes you've heard.
Yes. Yeah, no more Mario games ever. But it sounds like Doug Bowser is someone that Nintendo in Japan are very happy with, and he has a good relationship with them, so it sounds like he was the perfect guy to come in and take over. So it sounds like it's going to be a pretty smooth transition, at least internally. On the outside, I'm not sure how much of a performer he's going to be on camera or doing those skits, but that's not as important probably business-wise. They can always get someone else to do that, like that guy Bill that shows up and always gets made fun of.
Oh, Bill Trinan?
Yeah, it says you're fired, Bill, and it's, yeah. They have enough people out there to make up for it if Doug's not photogenic. But that's like the first responsibility as a COO or president of a company.
I do hope that maybe it's not Doug Bowser, but I do hope they find, I don't know, another familiar face, because there was Reggie, and I don't know, who else is it now? It went from a very seemingly personable company to, I don't know, maybe it'll be cold again.
This is a quote from Doug, it has been my great fortune to work with and be mentored by Reggie for 4 years at Nintendo of America, Bowser said, and rest assured we will continue to build on his work to evolve and expand our brand, your favorite word, furthering Nintendo's global mission of creating smiles. There are millions more of those to come.
There's no more corporate speak, no bottom lines,
no blue skying it. Fils-Amie started Nintendo America in 2003 as its executive vice president of sales and marketing and became its president and COO in May 2006. It's a pretty fast rise.
Yeah, it's good.
His time with Nintendo began during the Nintendo GameCube and Game Boy Advance era. His leadership in Nintendo's largest territory expanded the audience for Nintendo products as phenomena like Nintendogs, Brain Age, Wii Sports. These were big hits. And Wii Fit brought millions of new players to the world of video games. This is a press release. So he was there when it blew up in 2006, 2007.
Right.
I'm not saying how much he's personally responsible because that stuff comes from Japan, a lot of it. But you can help with the marketing and put the spin on things in the U.S. You still have responsibilities, but you're not doing the heavy development like they are in Japan.
Sure.
It's still a big there's a big load to shoulders.
A lot of people credit him. Sorry.
Is that Bowser?
Yeah. A lot of people credit him with Ferguson. Where are you going with this? A lot of people credit him with the reissue of the NES Classic and the larger availability of the SNES Classic. Realizing that there was a market for it and saying something.
Yeah, I would say that if you had it, that's a good point because Nintendo Japan was so strict about not dealing with the retro side at all.
Yeah, and the understanding of the U.S. market isn't perfect either. I mean, Jesus, thinking that many NES Classics was going to be enough, that was insane.
Yeah, so he probably, I can picture, like I said, Reggie probably had some spirited conversation about, hey, we're leaving a lot of money on the table here. Spirited. Reggie's got his Negan bat, I'm sure.
Did you get hungry?
No, I dropped this mouse on my wood floor probably like 18 times, so that's why it's cracked up.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, that's a good point though, is that the sort of turnaround Nintendo's thought about their old properties, and including the Switch Online, including like a Netflix-style NES thing, which at first that was not going to be the plan with the Switch Online. Maybe you can credit that to Reggie and the team, saying, listen, retro may not be huge in Japan, but it's bigger in the U.S. You know, maybe that's something you guys should pay attention to. They're like, okay, you're right, Reggie, please don't kill us. Please don't come after us. No, Reggie's a nice guy, but he's a big guy.
Intimidating.
I wouldn't wrestle with Reggie. Probably was an NCAA wrestler. I'm making up facts about Reggie Fils-Amie right here.
I'd go after him. Ankle locks, submissions.
Ankle locks?
Yeah.
You think he's
Yeah,
Reggie?
that's the
I
only
think
way
he's
to
in a
take
weight
him
class
out.
slightly above you. You're like a middleweight. He's a super heavyweight.
I'm scrappy.
You're scrappy?
Like a bird. A little bird.
Anything else to add on Mr. Fils-Amie? I wish him a warm retirement. He's retiring in April. He can rest up with his family and kids and maybe grandkids on the way. Who knows? And yeah, he can still enjoy his 3DS. We're still playing that, his Switch.
He'll be able to play all the pranks he wants on April Fools. He won't be working.
Yeah, maybe they'll bring him back for some of those videos. Why not? They'll have him in.
I feel like he's a prankster.
He's a prankster.
I think he's a prankster.
Okay,
But not one of those shitty YouTube pranksters.
That's old hat at this point.
Reggie's probably we're really defining Reggie to our own terms.
Yeah, we're really thinking
I feel like he's a
Reggie.
whoopee cushion guy.
A whoopee cushion.
No, he's a whoopee cushion and joy buzzer guy. 100%.
Not the blue gum guy. Not a joy buzzer guy.
No.
Not the ice cube fly guy.
I had one of those.
You had ice cube flies?
Yeah, I had fake poop too.
Okay, that's good to know. The audience is enthralled by that.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, okay. Bye, Reggie.
Woo! We're back.
Yay!
Some salient points made as usual. I think I rambled on for too long in the beginning. Ian, I don't mind that you slapped the mic away from me at some point. At first, I was a little mad. I know we almost broke up. The podcast was almost done there. But yeah, that was our coverage of Reggie, and we wish him well in his retirement.
Yep.